For generations, farming was not simply an occupation, it was a way of life. Families worked the land from sunrise to sunset, passing down values of hard work, perseverance, stewardship, and community from one generation to the next.
Everyone talks about the roundabout. Where the roundabout is, on the southwest corner, that's where the original Harvey farmstead was, hence Harvey Road. And that's why it became, and they also donated land across the street from that, and that became Harvey School. It was the one-room schoolhouse down there. That whole area in through there, that was the original Harvey farmstead. In 1851, they settled there. Wow. And then over across from Erinmore, that was their second farm. And then my grandpa bought the farm that was at the corner of 30 and Wolf, and so that was another Harvey farm. Yeah. So that whole area, like Stewart and Rance and Harvey and Wolf, was all Harvey farms at one point.
My dad grew up here on the farm that is now Fox Bend Golf Course. When Dad was 16 years old, his father died and Grandma couldn't keep the farm up anymore, so they moved off the farm and into Aurora. But as I was growing up, every Sunday we'd take a drive, you know, and we'd get Grandma to go with us and everything and ride all around. And of course she had to come to Oswego and go past the farm and tell us that this is where they used to have all their fields and everything.
How y'all got here? How long you been here? Like forever?
Well, we've been here for a long time. And our family moved here from Vermont. And the person that settled here was George Washington Kellogg. And he actually taught school for 9 years. And he taught in an abandoned building down by the river. So he was the first school teacher in Oswego. And then he went on to buy like 400 acres from the government and started farming. So there's 6 generations of Kellogg's have lived there. So George farmed, but he was also a justice of peace until he died. Now, I don't know where he held court, but I believe he probably did it in his house. Was a teacher, and then, you know, he farmed, and he was a justice of peace for a while, well, until his death, and he died in 1893.
As Oswego called, some of its most dedicated and valiant residents answered the call to serve and protect their fellow citizens. Police officers and volunteer firefighters became trusted guardians of the community, responding when neighbors needed help and helping ensure that Oswego remained a safe place to live, work, and raise a family. Their commitment, courage, and selfless service established a tradition of public safety and community care that continues to strengthen Oswego today.
Got any favorite memories from when you were a kid growing up in Oswego?
Bringing the Vietnam Wall to Oswego in 2017,
yeah.
Best week of my life. Best week.
Really cool.
It was, there's probably 100 and some thousand people came through there, all hours of the night.
Oh yeah.
And I remember in my closing speech, somebody asked me, how many people came? I said, it doesn't matter how many came. If one person came and got what they needed,
yeah,
that was worth it.
I'm Joyce Franchino, and I have lived in Oswego since 1978, and I'm very active with the American Legion, and right now, after my husband passed away, I took over running bingo. So between him and I, we probably have maybe close to 30 years doing bingo.
What are you doing these days?
Before Jim passed away, we got an old Army Jeep, and it's from the Korean War. And so I have a family member that will drive it in the parade. And so then a couple of the veterans who want to ride in it, they can ride in it. And so it just makes a parade a little bit
Keeps
special
that spirit
for
alive.
for some of these
Yeah.
guys. And we just got ourselves a new bingo machine, and maybe I'll put this in. We can always use another veteran to help out with bingo.
The thing that I want to touch on your mom's military a little bit. So tell me what she did.
She did a lot of things, but she started in San Diego and worked for an airplane company. She did that for a couple of years, and she did. She loved flying, and she always wanted to fly. So that's when she got her pilot's license. She had a part-time job that she saved up all her money to pay for the training, and joined the Civil Air Patrol. And that was when it, I believe, first started, and it was not part of the armed services at that time. I think now it's part of the Coast Guard, if I remember right. So she, did some flying. She came to Chicago for a while and worked there. She said she would fly out over Lake Michigan to make sure that no German submarines came, and to her honor, not a single German submarine came into Lake Michigan.
She did her job.
Yeah, she did her job. So she went down around the Tampa area and worked there as well. And when she was there, she worked figuring out trajectories for if they had to bomb from Cuba out into a German submarine that was in the Caribbean. So she was really always good at math, and she did that. And that's all by hand, There's no calculators.
Yeah, no computers.
No computers. And I don't know when in this series she got this job, but she worked as a chemist for Sherwin-Williams. And that's when they were trying to come up with camouflage paint for the airplanes in the desert in Africa.
Okay.
And she really liked that. She said it was fun to experiment with different colors and try to come up with the right ones, and trying to make sure it was a kind of a paint that was going to stick to the airplane and not get sanded off by the desert winds. And then after the war, she came back to the Chicago area and worked at a bank in Chicago.
So let's talk about, so in June of 1996, you made one of the best decisions as a chief that you ever made, and it was hiring me. And I'm just joking with you. So I started working for you in 96, and then fast forward to 99, and everybody's all worried about, what's going to happen when we transition to 2000. You remember planning for that?
Yes, I do.
What jumps out at you as it relates to work? Like, what kinds of things did you have to think about as a chief that you recall?
The feeling was that, America was going to be gone or something, Nobody knew what was going to happen. So actually, I just said, everybody's got to be here, and we'll deal with whatever happens. And thank the good Lord, nothing happened.
Yep. So the whole department worked. It was on shift at midnight that night.
Yep.
On December 31st, 99, everybody was there.
If I recall correctly, it was probably about 2 a.m. We said, okay, that's it. Nothing's going to happen.